Imagine standing on the deck of an ancient Egyptian warship, the Nile dark as steel, a hot wind blowing from the Nubian desert.
Ahead, a wild power awaits. The Nubian warriors, master archers who have never bowed to any empire. And leading the Egyptian army, not a seasoned, old king, but a young man, barely in his 20s.
His name was Thutmose III, and this war would transform him from a constrained youth into Egypt's greatest pharaoh.
If you love inspiring historical stories where people overcome their own limits, leave a like and subscribe to the channel.
Now then, let's rewind history more than 3,400 years.
Thutmose III was not born a warrior. For many years, he was eclipsed by Queen Hatshepsut,
His aunt and stepmother, who held power in his stead when he was young. During that time, Thutmose's power was limited. He couldn't lead armies, nor appear much in public. But instead of resentment, he observed, learned, and prepared. He studied military tactics from senior generals. He practiced horsemanship, archery, and researched the geography of every land around Egypt. He waited, not for revenge, but to prove he was worthy of Egypt's throne. Immediately after Thutmose III ascended the throne, the first challenge appeared. Nubia, the land south of Egypt, was home to resilient, dark-skinned warriors.
Archers who could hit targets from distances Egyptians only dreamed of. Powerful chieftains, rich in gold, who resented Egyptian rule.
Now is the time to defeat Egypt!
When they learned Egypt had a young king, Nubian leaders immediately revolted.
it was the young pharaoh's first test, a test that would decide if he would be a weak king or a legend. Without hesitation, Thutmose III personally led his army to Nubia. This was something not many young pharaohs dared to do.
Egypt does not shy away from challenges. Egypt confronts them!
During the march, he observed everything: speed, climate, rocky terrain, narrow rivers, all that would help him win.
Upon reaching the border, the Nubian army awaited, armed with longbows, leather shields, bulging muscles, and fiery eyes. But Thutmose III did not tremble. He saw in them what he saw in himself many years before. A powerful force, waiting for someone worthy to confront it.
The battle erupted fiercely. Nubia attacked with a rain of arrows.
But Thutmose III was prepared. He divided his troops into flexible formations, using skilled Egyptian archers as a counter-response.
Combining light infantry to attack both flanks.
The pinnacle was when he personally led the vanguard across the river, heedless of the arrows flying thick as locusts.
History records, the young king shot arrows faster than any warrior on the battlefield. The skills he painstakingly honed throughout his childhood now shone brilliantly.
Nubia, or which believed Egypt was weak,
Was stunned by the young pharaoh's new tactics and fighting spirit.
After only a few hours, the Nubian army disintegrated. The territory of Wawat was reoccupied. The rebellion was completely crushed.
Thutmose III did something few would expect. He did not seek revenge. Instead, he helped stabilize the lives of the Nubian people. He rebuilt their temples,
He brought Nubian children to Egypt to learn its culture. He allowed local nobles to retain their power as long as they remained loyal. He understood that a strong empire wasn't built on victory alone, but on respect and trust. Nubia, from a rebellious land, became a powerful ally. It reigned for hundreds of years.
Thutmose III's first victory proved he was not merely a nominal king, but a warrior architect of the empire.
After Nubia, he conquered Syria, Cana, Mitanni, creating the largest Egyptian empire in history.
But it all began with a single challenge: a young king facing a formidable enemy, and choosing to bravely step forward instead of retreating. The story of Thutmose III teaches us one thing. There are times in life when you are doubted, confined, or underestimated.
But it is precisely those years of limitation that build the strength for you to break through.
When challenges arise, you can either retreat or stand tall, as Thutmose III did.
If you want to hear more inspiring historical stories of victory, courage, and growth,
see you on our next journey through time in the next video.
The great river, long dominated by the queen, now carries the hopes of a new pharaoh. While the young Thutmose watched from the shadows, Hatshepsut commanded the throne, her presence serene yet undeniably powerful.
He studied the campaigns of his forefathers within the palace library.
They always strike at Theros. The true path to Al-Karnak is through Megiddo.
The young pharaoh, though surrounded by luxury, dedicated himself to the art of war, knowing that true power was forged in discipline. As the young pharaoh surveyed the waters, he wasn't merely observing the landscape. He was calculating his next move against the Nubian strongholds. The regency complete, Hatshepsut formally recognized the ascent of Thutmose III. The two lands now rested in his strong, capable hands.
The Nubian scouts tracked the movements of the Egyptian army, realizing the campaign was imminent.
They approach the river, my chief! Ready the warriors! Here, deep in the rugged valleys of Nubia, the tribes prepared for war. Their chieftain's words.
Egypt's grasp on the southern territories was tenuous. Thutmose knew that to secure his legacy, the riches of Nubia must be brought to heel.
The great pharaoh Thutmose III led his magnificent fleet up the Nile, embarking on a campaign that would change the course of history.
The Nubian campaign would test the mettle of the young pharaoh, forcing his army through the unforgiving desert. Here, on the sun-baked cliffs of the borderlands, the Nubian warriors stood as the first line of defense against the encroaching pharaoh.
The clash at Wawat would define Thutmose's reign. It was here the Nubians made their stand.
Charge! Show them no mercy!
It was here, at the river crossing of Wawat, that Thutmose III truly earned his legacy, personally leading the charge.
Though he fought with the fury of his ancestors, the chieftain could not stem the tide. The might of Egypt was simply overwhelming.
The victory at Wawat was absolute. Thutmose, now unchallenged, stood poised to forge an empire unlike any seen before.
The pharaoh ensured the stability of the region through benevolence. See that every family receives their share before nightfall.
The decree established clear policies for Nubia, granting autonomy while guaranteeing protection under Egyptian rule.
Standing together at the border, the pharaoh and the chieftain ushered in an era of unprecedented cooperation.
The walls of the palace proudly display the enduring legacy of Thutmose III. His military genius.
Under Thutmose III, Egypt truly became an empire, stretching from the Euphrates to the far reaches of Nubia.
The boy king had become pharaoh. With the dawn came not just light, but the promise of an empire that would echo through history.